Before you consider an annuity for your retirement portfolio, you should answer this question. Is your nest egg large enough to survive prolonged market downturns while you start withdrawing to pay for your lifestyle and retirement? This gives you a better picture of what you really need to protect and whether you should consider a lifetime income annuity for part of your portfolio. When you schedule your call, we'll start by overlaying the size of your nest egg to the worst years in recent market history and then subtract your withdrawals that you're going to need to live in retirement. That's it. It's that simple. We're simply answering this question. Would you run out of money if history repeated itself? To answer that question properly, there is an important piece of information that we need. How much money do you need deposited into your checking account every month to make sure that your essential expenses are covered when you retire? If you started looking for an annuity and you haven't answered this question yet, stop. Because that piece of information is vital to determine whether you need an annuity and what type. If you're not sure, we can help you back into the number by taking your salary and subtracting your savings habits. We're not talking about dream vacation money here. We're talking about your basic income needs, the things that are required to cover your essential expenses. Once we know your investable assets and your need for monthly income, the answer becomes simple. If your portfolio would run out of money during those worst case conditions while you're withdrawing income, then you have an income problem, and you probably need an annuity, possibly even a lifetime income annuity. This is exactly the challenge lifetime income annuities are designed to solve. It will continue to deposit money into your checking account no matter how long you live and regardless of market conditions. If we run the report and we find out that your nest egg is large enough to take the withdrawals you need even during prolonged market downturns, you don't need a lifetime income annuity. And at that point, the conversation shifts to talk about your risk tolerance. Maybe you're comfortable with market downturns and maybe you should stay invested in the market. But if the market downturns give you heartburn or keep you up at night because you're concerned that something worse than 2008 is on the horizon, then we can determine how much of your portfolio you want to protect. But we don't have to do it in an income annuity that draws down your principal. We can put it in high interest rate accounts with no fees so that you can sleep at night while your money is compounding at a competitive interest rate. The key is this: don't buy an annuity based on fear. And don't buy an annuity because an annuity agent tells you you need one without doing an income analysis. And especially don't buy one because an annuity agent tells you you're going to get market-based returns with no risk of loss. That's what gives annuities a bad reputation. On the flip side, don't avoid annuities just because somebody told you they're bad or that they're too complicated. Annuities are simply financial tools. And if you start with the numbers, you can learn how to use these tools correctly to make sure that you don't run out of money. Find out if your retirement plan holds up during the worst market years we've had during recent history. After you know the answer to that, then you can decide whether a lifetime income annuity is appropriate or if you just want to protect part of your assets to help you sleep at night. That's exactly how I help clients every day, by running a sequence of returns risk report to give your retirement savings a stress test. Let's look at two examples from couples I recently spoke with. The first couple has $1.2 million in investable assets and they need $70,000 a year to maintain their lifestyle and cover their bills. So we placed their nest egg over the year 2000 when the market dropped 10%. Their asset value would drop by $126,000 the same year they take $70,000 for expenses. The next year, the market returns a negative 13%. They lose another $137,000 and they withdraw another $70,000 for expenses. The third year, in 2003, the market dropped 23%. They would lose $197,000 to meet their living expenses. As you can see, they eventually run out of money. They don't have a large enough nest egg to weather market downturns and withdraw $70,000 a year. And they're good candidates for a joint lifetime income annuity. Now let's look at scenario 2. The second couple has $950,000 saved and they need $24,000 a year in addition to their Social Security to make sure that all of their expenses are met. Even during the worst years when the market's down 3 years in a row and then 40% a couple of years later, they don't run out of money in this scenario. So I don't recommend a lifetime income annuity for them. Now, when discussing their risk tolerance, I learned that they were very bothered by market loss. They were concerned that something worse than 2008 was on the horizon. So we talked about how much of their portfolio they wanted to protect, and we moved a portion of their funds into a high interest-bearing account with no fees, where they could take off interest income without touching their principal. It's true that they're giving you the double-digit returns on those home-run stock market years. But it's also true that they're not at risk of losing 40% if something catastrophic happens. Remember, retirement planning isn't about getting rich. It's about making sure you have enough money to last your entire life, so that you never have to show up on your adult children's doorstep and say, hey, I'm moving into your guest bedroom. Let's find out if your nest egg will stand on its own during a market downturn. We'll run your sequence of returns risk report and talk about whether an annuity belongs in your portfolio at all.